Hey everyone, Irix Guy here. Just wanted to do a little driving test with the GoPro HD Hero3 Black Edition. Now I'm currently filming while driving a vehicle, also known as a car. And I've got the Headstrap mount on my head. So it's the same Headstrap mount that came with the HD Hero2 Outdoor Edition, which I still own and still use and still great. But as you can see here, the video quality of this HD Hero3, and I'm filming in 1080p at 60 frames per second with the Pro. It's not ProRes, it's Pro whatever they Pro something. It's ProRes is Apple, but it's Pro. It's not ProForm. Pro whatever. You can look it up, but I've got that setting enabled in the GoPro recording. So it just, to my understanding, it just makes the edits better. And if you'll notice with the GoPro, all the details, like I got all these leaves and everything flying around up here in the trees because it's fall, and you'll really be able to see the detail. Whereas with the Hero 2, even though it was great, the detail wasn't quite as sharp. And where you really notice the advantage to the Hero 3 Black Edition, now keep in mind, the silver and the white Hero 3 are 30 frames per second. Only the Black Edition jumps up to 60 frames per second. So if you want the absolute cutting edge camera technology, you'll definitely want to get the Black Edition. So a few other things I wanted to mention. I am filming this with the waterproof backpack on, and you can tell the audio quality when you filmed with the HD Hero 2 with the waterproof back. It was somewhat muffled, and even though this is muffled, if you're used to editing your HD Hero 2 footage and then you jump up to an HD Hero 3, you're going to notice that with the waterproof backing on each, that with the Hero 3 you likely won't even have to increase the audio volume. Whereas with the Hero 2, when I filmed with the waterproof back, I had to often increase the audio volume. So there's a lot of improvements there. One other thing I wanted to mention about the Hero 3, and obviously the purpose of this video is to give a very thorough real-world demonstration of the graphical qualities of this camera. And I just wanted to do it while I was driving because I figured, well, you know, I'm driving, it's good lighting outside, and the leaves and the trees are fall colors, so, you know, why not put it to a good test and run through everything. But a few other things you'd want to know is that unlike the Hero 2, the Hero 3 does use the micro SD card, and don't let that scare you, because it doesn't mean that you have to spend more. Micro SD cards can be had very affordably on Newegg.com, Amazon.com, etc. But you just need to be sure that the micro SD card you purchase is class 10, and it'll read the class on there. It's got to be class 10. And another thing you might want to take into consideration, everybody with these cards assume that, oh, I got to get the biggest one. Think about it this way: those things are so small, they're easy to lose and possibly easy to damage. The best bang for your buck, in my opinion, is getting multiple 16 gigabyte SD cards, just generic brand, you know, some Chinese shop or whatever it's from. It doesn't matter about the brand, just that it's class 10. And I got mine off Newegg. The one I'm filming with now is some off brand, but it is class 10, and as you can see, the quality is impressive. Now we're making a turn now. We're kind of heading away from the sun, and then we're going to start heading into the sun. So it'll be really cool to see how this camera transitions. And while we make this turn, I wanted to point out I am using the GoPro remote, as you can see there in front of me. And basically it functions as the same. You can do the same with it as you would if you had the camera. You know, when you push the button on top, it starts recording. When you hold down the button in the front, it turns off the camera. Well, the GoPro 3s, regardless of which one you get, even if you don't get the black, you're going to get the integrated Wi-Fi. Now, not all the GoPro 3s come with this remote. Some of them you have to buy it extra. Black Edition comes with it, so that's one of the added perks you get with the black edition, in addition to the 60 frames per second, which is awesome. So I will say I'm super satisfied with this purchase. Oh, and I remembered what it was called. It's called Protune. The Protune video setting is what I've got enabled. But I couldn't be happier with this camera. The only minor complaint I have so far, and it's shared by many, is and now see we're getting into the sun here, so let me kind of pan my head out so you can really see how this performs in direct sunlight. It's actually absolutely incredible. So yeah, just a really great camera. They do need to do some enhancements to the firmware. Currently the firmware that is available, the most current firmware for download from GoPro.com, the app does not work. Now that's something else you can do with this with the Wi-Fi enabled GoPro HD Hero3s, is utilize either an iPhone app or an Android app to control the camera instead of this remote that comes with it. And I mean, I could ramble on and on about this, but in closing I do want, oh, here comes a train. This ought to be cool. We'll see how this train looks here in 1080p 60 frames per second with Protune enabled. I'm not going to hit the train because that wouldn't be fun, but I will pull up pretty far back from the train in case it derails. This remote, so you can see that train. Look at that train detail there. Wow, the train is buzzing by. So you can look at the back of this remote. You can see there's a little strap right there, or a little hole where you can put like a little nylon type belt, and you can mount it to your wrist, to any of your whatever you're wearing. And then also it's got this little thing right here. You can put it on a keychain, or maybe some sort of bracelet that you have that has a keychain type adapter on it, so you can hang on. This is somewhat water resistant, this remote, and I need to research the specific water resistant properties, but I'm sure it's more than sufficient for snorkeling. And this is actually something that I plan to wear. I'm going to, and I'll post a video when I rig whatever up, but I'm going to rig up some sort of mount so I can mount this to my wrist when I go snorkeling, so I can turn so I can control the GoPro HD Hero3 camera on my head by way of this remote. And I'll also be wearing a GoPro HD Hero2 so that I've got multiple camera angles. I'm going to swim with some sharks and probably some stingrays and stuff, so you know, get some really good, maybe a barracuda or something, just get something really cool in 1080p HD. So those will be coming soon. Also got some other GoPro HD Hero3 Black Edition video surprises. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I definitely encourage you to do so, and it's youtube.com/IrixGuy. And I welcome your comments or questions. If there's something in particular GoPro related that you're curious about, please let me know. I've had quite a bit of experience with these. This is my first, well, it's my second GoPro. My first one was a GoPro HD Hero2 GoPro HD Hero2 Outdoor Edition, and this is the GoPro HD Hero3 Black Edition. And one other, before we conclude this video, one minor thing I wanted to point out is right here you can see the tick. Well, you probably can't see it in this video because it's not that high res, but I've got 35 minutes and 17 seconds remaining, and this video is currently 8 minutes and 49 seconds in. So that's a 16 gigabyte micro SD card, so that ought to give you a good feel for these 1080p 60 frames per second Protune enabled, the type of recording time you would expect to get out of a 16 gigabyte card. And again, I want to have multiple 16 gigabytes because that way if I lose one becomes damaged, maybe it gets stolen while I'm in a foreign country somewhere, I won't lose all of my video. Thanks for tuning in, and y'all have a good day.